Hi guys, and welcome back to Modest Sicario Gaming, and we're here with another deck profile. So, last one I did was Crystal Beast. It was a relatively new deck that I built. Was open to suggestions. So, this deck I'm a bit more comfortable with. It's Invoked Mekk Knight. So, the reason that I want to do a deck profile on this is because Invoked is probably my favorite. Well, I don't even know if we can call it an archetype, but it's basically my favorite deck to run. When it first came out, I got the whole core, high rarity. I've had it ever since. I was even improved the answers to the secret rares from the Shane Victories, or no, not Shane and Victories. Shadows and Valhalla, that was what it was, I think. So yeah, I topped with Invoked Wind Witch one time, and I just literally fell in love with the deck since. So this is the Mekk Knight variant. It's a going second variant, obviously, with the Mekk Knights. Been doing pretty well with it lately. I do believe if you know how to play the deck, it can be very good, especially against the current meta. A lot of board breaking cards, a lot of ways to bait negates. I've personally been enjoying it, having a bit of success with it, so I thought, why not? We'll just bring it out to you guys, see what you guys think of it. Again, open to suggestions. If you just have any opinions on what you would add in, take out, let me know in the comments. Greatly appreciate it. So, we'll start with the obvious. We got 3 Alistair. I don't really think I need to explain it. It's just 3 Alistair. You want to see it as quickly as possible. It's the main engine in the deck. So quickly on to the Mekk Knights. I've got 3 purple, 2 blue, 2 indigo, 1 red, 1 yellow. I personally like this because I like seeing a Mekk Knight. I kind of like the link with them. I like to kind of have board presence. If you don't really have a Mekk Knight, at least one Mekk Knight, it's kind of difficult. You're kind of stuck with an invoked monster and not much else. It's kind of difficult to OTK unless you have the Mekk Knights. So this is the ratios I'm quite keen on. Sometimes the 2 indigos a bit iffy. It kind of comes out and comes back in again. It's just mainly if you have it and another Mekk Knight, it's brilliant because you can summon the indigo, move the indigo, summon another Mekk Knight, say a purple, use purple, search blue, use blue, search another, and so forth. So that's my ratio. I might mess about with it, maybe put a 3rd blue in, take an indigo out, but I'm liking the way I have it at the moment. Last of the monsters, I run 1 Pankratops and 1 Kashtira Fenrir. I'm not running hand traps in this build. It's purely go second, let your opponent do what they want, and just hopefully break. Gone are the days where you kind of see boards that put up like 6, 7, 8 negates. Sometimes you do get the odd deck that does it, but I find that more often than not, it's a few negates you need to get round, and cards, spoiler, like Super Poly can kind of just deal with certain negates and clear boards that way. But I have the Pankratops and the Fenrir here, so Pankratops is basically here just for presence. Whenever you go second, you drop this on them, they kind of have to respond to it. If they can't respond to it, you can either just keep it on board, continue your plays, or if there's something really immediate that needs dealt with, you can use the Pankratops just to bait something out, just to get a negate out of the way. Fenrir's there to push for game. It's good if you have to go first. Seeing this in an Alistair, you can kind of just do your plays to get ended on a Macabre and a Fenrir, which it's not the end of the world, it's okay. You can kind of get away with it, but I would probably put another Fenrir in if I had another one, for the pure fact that like I said, I like having board presence. I like having damage on board. Sometimes this deck struggles to get damage on board. You'll be sitting with, say, a Macabre, maybe 1 Mekk Knight and a Pankratops. Sometimes it's just not enough for game, and sometimes when you go in to your second turn, you clear their board, you attack, and you have to pass again, you're kind of setting yourself up to get your board right. You can usually come back with the Invoked engine, but sometimes it's very difficult, so that's the reason I try and put a bit more board presence in to try and OTK. So that's it for the monsters. It's not too much monsters, just the Invoked, the Mekk Knights, and then the Fenrir and Pankratops. So we're going to move on to the spells. I've got 3 Meltdown, 2 Invocation, 1 Terraforming. I'm pretty sure this is just the standard now, like this is kind of what people are going for. I've got a tiny little engine that I used to run, and it was Foolish Burial Goods, and then that Rainbow Bridge trap card that lets you banish it, add a Crystal Beast and any field spell, so I would use that to banish the trap from the grave, add Meltdown and then like say Pegasus or whatever it is I want to run. I just wasn't keen on the bricks. I really didn't like having the trap in there. You were drawing it, you drew multiple goods, you can't really do too much with it. So I'm settling with this as my invoked engine for the spells. So 3 prosperity. Like I said in the Crystal Beast deck profile, if you have these, they nearly go on every deck. It's very good. The only slight thing is the half battle damage because you're going second. I try not to use it unless I really have to when I'm going second. If I go first, brilliant. I get the search from a Fenrir, I get to dig into my invocations or my invoked engine. So prosperity's kind of there just to dig. Like I said, the half battle damage is bad, but if you really need just to clear boards and get some sort of presence, it's a fantastic card. 3 talents, you're going second, your opponent's more likely going to activate a monster effect in the gate, or it's going to activate a hand trap of some sort. So having this here for the draw 2, the discard, or the steal, I normally go with the steal, and I'll show you why when I get to my extra deck. And if I'm made to go first, I'll probably rip a card, most likely. The draw 2 I very rarely use. Usually I have what I need in my hand. If I really don't have anything, I'll try and get the draw 2. Say I normal summon Alistair, I don't have an invocation, I activate, they negate the Alistair's effect to search the invocation. I would probably tactics for 2 and hope I get it, maybe, I don't know. But more often than not, I'm stealing the opponent's monster. So like I said, the whole point of this is to try and stop your opponent. You've gotten their board, you've got their board, you're just trying to break it. So tactics is a good way just to steal monsters, and then 3 Regeki is a good way for when, say they have a board of 2 negates, say, they use the 2 negates and they still have a board of like 3 or 4 monsters, you can Regeki the board away and then just kind of deal with it. So people can't sleep on it. People don't really expect it, and in the absolute worst case scenario, it's negate fodder, they're going to negate it. So if they have something like a Borload Savage Dragon there, you're going to probably activate this first if you don't, depending on what your hand is. That's kind of the hard part of this deck, is knowing what negate bits to use. So you can kind of just drop this, make them negate it, and then start your own plays with the Borload Savage Dragon's negates out of the way. So I'm a really big fan of Regeki, and I'll probably continue to run it. 3 Super Polymerization. I feel like it's an essential in a going second deck, but sometimes I kind of don't like it. It clears negates away, it clears boards away. It's just the discard part is just a bit rough with this deck. There's some more than likely you're not really going to have a card in your hand you want to discard, but it's just essential. You kind of just need it. Being able to clear 2 of them away into a fusion monster of your own, maybe link away with the fusion monster, do other plays. It's just too good not to run, so I kind of have to run it. It does put in work, mind you. Like whenever I do use it, I'm happy to use it. It's just sometimes when you use it, you have 4 cards, 3 cards left in your hand. You can't really do too much else. And then my little package of steals. So Change of Heart and Mind Control are pretty self-explanatory. They're like Regeki. They're either a very good card because they're taking your opponent's monster, or it's in a negate bit. Enemy Controller is a little bit more niche. So what I liked about Enemy Controller when I ran it was doing stuff like normal summon Alistair, effect search invocation, they activate Imperm or an effect failure. I chain the Enemy Controller, tribute the Alistair, take control of one of their monsters, Alistair's in the grave, and then I get to search with the invocation. So I really like it. The effect to turn monsters to defense mode sometimes comes up with a Purgatrio, but it's very rare. But more often than not, you are getting it off. And there's so many monsters you don't mind tributing. Like some of the Mekk Knights, the Alistair is the main one you kind of want to use. But yeah, I'm a really big fan of it at the moment. And like I've said, with most of the cards, I'm just going to continue to run it until it just becomes obsolete and I don't like it anymore. Last of the spells, 1 Called By, 1 Feather Duster, self-explanatory. This is for back row decks, this is just for if I get hand trapped. I'll probably take the Called By the Great out for maybe a second Fenrir if I get it, but until then it's in the deck. And then last but not least, we've got There Can Only Be One. I've seen some decks run this, I've seen some not run it. So I initially didn't run it because it was going second and just kind of thought to myself, I don't really need this. But then I've thought about it a bit more, and there's very few times I completely OTK. So if I have a Makaba, a Fenrir, Pankratops, I've cleared their board. I haven't been lethal. I pass with this set. I flip this up. I got 3 different types. I don't mind. So I've got a machine, a dinosaur, and a psychic, I believe Fenrir is. So it does come up when you go second as well. And then if you go first, you can enable this in a Makaba maybe, and it's fine. Some decks really struggle to get around it. Now quickly into the extra deck, we're going to go with 2 Makaba, 1 Agoides, 1 Purgatrio, 1 Raiden. So that's my invoked engine, or my invoked fusions. 2 Makaba, I've tried cutting it down to 1, but there's so many times I needed it again. Agoides is good late game, whenever you can fuse with a monster in the extra deck, or fuse monster and Alistair, so it's pretty good. Purgatrio is a good one to go for game. It's usually very valuable to go into with people using Ice Blossom, and then Raiden's there just for the matchup with Flew Under Ease. It actually comes up sometimes, and it's actually pretty decent. So that's the invoked. Super poly targets, we've got 1 Starving Venom, and it's a proxy, but it is Garura. Garura is just a very good super poly target, and then being able to draw cards off it, do double battle damage, helps push for game a lot. Starving Venom's there for stuff like Tyrann. It's just stuff, dark decks, any deck that puts up 2 dark monsters in the end just to fuse them away. So yeah, self-explanatory there. And then the Vote Link package, we've got 1 Artemis, Secure Gardener, and Almirage. So initially I just had the 1 Artemis, but then I didn't really have much space in the extra deck for anything, or I didn't have anything else I wanted to use in the space. So I kept the Secure Gardener and the Almirage in. It actually comes up sometimes. Later into the game, maybe a few turns in, if it isn't the end of the game, you might have another Alistair, but you need to go get it off the field to go into another, you don't have a light target maybe. So you just do the Almirage Secure Gardener, or if you've already used that, you do the Artemis. So yeah, if I ever need to put anything else in the extra deck, I'll probably take the Secure Gardener and the Almirage out. Link 2s, we've got Dark, Lina, and Nightmare Phoenix. So this is why I run a lot of monsters stealing cards. So what I love doing is normal summoning the Alistair, playing like a Magnet Troll to take a dark monster of some sort, linking into dark, using dark to take one of their monsters that are dark from the grave, and then invocationing with Alistair and something else, and maybe going to the Makaba. Same as Lina, it's the exact same way the other way around. Go on, Alistair, stealing the light, Link, Lina effect, steal a light, Alistair, into Makaba, whatever. So I focus a lot of my deck around that, and then the reason I do a lot of board stealing cards is because of these. So I need to use a lot of board stealing cards that link climb into these. So one of my favorite things to do is to go Alistair, steal, summon a Mekk Knight, maybe 2 Mekk Knights, go into the Soldier of Chaos, and because I'm using a Mekk Knight more often than not, I'm going to get the effects, and then invoking into something, Purgatrio, whatever. So same with Access Code Talker. It's another reason I like to have the Almirage and the Secure Garden in, more the Almirage, because then I can go into the Almirage, go more monsters into the Link 2, Link Climb into the Link 4, stuff like that, just so we can get the Access Code Talker to do a little bit more damage. So yeah, that is it for the extra deck. No side decks. I don't really do side decks. I kind of go to locals without them. If I went to a proper tournament, I would show them if I had the side deck, but yep, basically that's it guys. I hope you liked the deck profile. Same as last time, if there's anything you would change, hit me up in the comments. Tell me what you would run, tell me what you don't like that I run. Any suggestions, very welcome. Again, any deck profiles you want to see, any combo tutorial videos you want to see, any suggestions at all, put it down in the comments. So that's me, Sicario Gaming, signing off. Hope you all stay well, keep good, goodbye.